everyone, and welcome to the Facial Recognition Podcast. My name is Shazia Mirza, and now I hand it over to the other three brown girls.
I'm Fizza Dasani.
I'm Paula Viganalan.
I'm Zara Ali.
And this is the Facial Recognition Comedy Podcast. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. You're our first Brit.
Really?
Yeah. We're so happy to have
There's
you.
only one brown Brit in England, and that's me. So you are very lucky to have me.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
That you did our show last night. Very funny. Touring comedian.
We had so many people slide into our DMs and ask about you.
Yeah, but they didn't ask me.
But they didn't know your name because you dropped in. You were a surprise to all of us.
They didn't know who I am?
You were our surprise celebrity guest.
Really?
Yes. So basically, so far, our celebrity guests have been you and Russell and Aparna. So you're in great company.
Is that it? Just three of us?
Yeah.
Well, how many of us are there? We were struggling to book last month. You came here. We're like, can you do next month?
Is there a shortage of brown people that are funny?
No, we actually
No,
we
absolutely
have a rotating lineup, but we're like we always get new names and stuff. It's like it's pretty fun to discover like all the new comedians that are rising.
There's a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, more than you'd expect.
Yeah.
Way more than there was like 5 years ago.
We have a roster of about 20, 25 or so. But the thing is that like everyone is funny and everybody's doing well. So everyone's busy. So sometimes it is hard to book people because it's not like there are hundreds of us. There's only like a 20.
A small pool,
right.
Yeah.
But there are more that are starting like every day. Like I feel like there's so many new comics that
Because
are rising.
it's the time now to be brown and to be a woman, and you know we got to act on it now. Now's the time. This is the time now.
But I feel like in 50
The time
years
is
it's
now.
also going to be the time.
Yeah.
It's going to be like better than
Do you
now.
think so? Do you think?
I don't think it's going to be like novel, but it's going to be like better. You know,
I feel like there's
constantly
white men
towards progress.
lurking in the background waiting to come back.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
think
like
there's
white
a
men
window.
they've just taken a break, these white men.
I think there's a window, and I think
a
now is a
pendulum.
good time. I also feel like with because of Netflix and all these other streaming and all these other platforms that are showing people comedy, I don't know. I feel like it's becoming a little oversaturated, so it's becoming harder to like reach milestones.
Or those
I don't know.
milestones mean less. Like if you get a Conan set, that's not what it meant like 10 years ago, right? Because it's like there's so many more things that you could, so many more avenues.
Yeah, there's so many more platforms. So it's just the industry's changed so much. I guess there's room for more artists to put their stuff out there. I mean, with the internet.
How about you tell us? Because you've been doing this for so long.
You were doing this 10 years ago.
Yeah.
When did you start this
It was
journey?
about maybe 13 years ago.
Oh,
Then
wow.
in England, I started, and I started doing like open mic nights and stuff. And when I started, I was the only brown woman doing comedy in Britain. And
Wow.
13 years ago is not that long.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was the only
Right.
brown woman, and there was nobody like me. There was a couple of brown men, and now there's about 5 of us, so it's going really well. You know?
There's 5.
there's
There's
not-
5 in London.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's-
so we have enough to take facial
There's
rec
not
to
loads.
London.
We can want to take facial rec to London. That's
We can take it to London. There's enough of us there.
I mean, there's not a load of like brown comedians, but there's enough,
Enough
for
for
a
a
show.
show.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What got you into it?
Well, I loved comedy. I loved writing, and I loved watching. I love the old people. They're all dead. My icons are dead. You know,
Who are your icons?
like Richard Pryor, Joan Rivers, George Carlin, Robin Williams, and I performed with Robin a few times.
You did?
I did.
What
yeah.
was that like?
It was amazing, and he was amazing, and he was very supportive to me. And
Does he have a set? Or does he just
No,
wing
he
it
did.
every time he goes?
It looks like
Of course, yeah. But that's also his demeanor, and he's like
No, it's
he's so
material.
great at improv as well. So it's like sometimes it
was
is hard to
material.
tell.
There was
Okay.
also that story of how he used to accidentally steal jokes because his brain would go like so fast, and he would like hear something and then he would like say it, and then afterwards he would feel terrible because he never meant to, so he would pay the comics that he took the jokes
Really?
from, like he would write them checks.
Well, if he stole jokes from a Muslim woman, people would notice. So he didn't try that with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's good. I do think it's like a time to be brown and people hear your voice and being a woman. But I do think
They're gonna get tired
white
of it.
white men are still lurking there. They're just taking a break because of Harvey. You know, Harvey ruined it for the white man for the time being.
Thank you, Harvey.
Was it just Harvey? I feel like there are others around.
Really?
Maybe they're just not as infamous.
But he was the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was the big scoop. He did.
Well, I want to see the Harvey documentary.
Is
there one yet?
No, but like,
are they just focused on Michael Jackson and R. Kelly at the moment, and then they're gonna change gears and eventually go to the white man?
Yeah,
that's the question that has been coming up. Is
I'm sure there will be. I heard there was actually somebody was making.
I thought they were too. Yeah, but I think they're taking time because there were so many.
Well, you know what? I think they need to get all the serial killer documentaries out of the way first.
I've watched them all. Oh my God,
it seems like
them.
white men are really good at that.
Who's your favorite serial killer?
Well, Ted Bundy, because he was hot as well.
Okay, I don't think he's that hot. I don't think he's hot.
I don't think he's that hot.
If you take the serial killer out of the equation,
then
and
less
just
hot.
see him,
No, I'm kidding.
You know what? He just seems like a nerdy. Like he seems just like one of those like nerdy, socially awkward white dudes.
But he apparently had swag. Like he was very charismatic.
He was a lawyer. He was training to be a lawyer. He was really,
politician.
He was very intelligent.
Yeah,
he
politics are too dirty.
Women.
That's why he became a serial killer.
He's a but I watched the Ted Bundy tapes.
Oh yeah, I watched them as well.
And also the documentary about him. And I think he just wanted to be famous.
You do?
Yeah, he used to say to people, I'm going to be president one day. I'm going to run this country. He used to really brag about himself. And I think he wanted to be famous for something.
He wanted notoriety.
He definitely did.
Because they said they were doing, like when they started interviewing serial killers, for like an FBI, like as part of like the Ted Bundy tapes, they were doing like research. FBI was doing research to learn how serial killers operate. Mm-hmm. And basically, Ted Bundy's like, well, I don't care what you say about me as long as you put me in there.
Well, at the end of the tapes, he said, I feel like I've achieved something. That's what he said about all his killings and stuff. I feel like I've achieved something.
That's fucking insane.
So he's your favorite in terms of just like being an interesting person, or is there a little
serial killer?
Yeah.
Wait, what are your other hot serial killers? Like, can you rank them by hotness?
I don't. Well, I don't.
John Wayne Gacy.
Charles Bronson.
You're waiting to drop
okay.
Charles Manson.
Charles Manson.
Yeah.
Charles Manson.
Does he count though?
He murdered a woman.
Killer?
Well,
he got other people to do his murdering.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's still a murderer, but like, he's sort of
What was
get his hands
crime?
dirty.
Wasn't his crime like
type.
actually like being the leader of this cult that was killing people?
Yeah, it was like the conspiracy.
Got it.
So the whatever to kill.
But you think that he's the second hottest? 10 Bundy's.
Well, no, he's not hot.
Okay.
I think he's interesting.
Interesting. Okay.
Interesting angle there.
I'm looking up hot serial killers right now.
Jeffrey Dahmer. I watched a documentary on Dahmer.
Ew.
And what are you looking at?
The hot serial killers.
The runtoftheweb.com. I don't know what the fuck this site is. 9 serial killers who we would want to slice us open.
What?
This is fucking
Dexter.
gross.
Dexter.
Peter Manuel.
He's hot. He's kind of got like a Don Draper vibe going on.
Oh, I have to
say,
that's like a fancy headshot.
Most serial killers are American. We've got very few in England. They are American.
Yeah.
Americans are crazy, man.
See, like we have this reputation for being crazy, and I don't understand why there aren't more crazy people in other parts of the world.
Because
we're the Florida of the world.
You've got access to guns.
We do have access to guns, yeah.
So you have access to violence, very easy.
Yeah.
You have these school shootings, and they start young.
Also mostly white guys.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a certain like profile for the kids that have done the mass shootings in the schools, and they were all these like socially awkward,
skinny vampire looking ass motherfuckers.
Yeah, pretty much.
Awkward.
Yeah,
like they have no friends, and
it's in like
what I don't understand is, and I don't want to add to their pain, but like. There's no way I would have been able to hide anything in my room with my parents not knowing.
I mean, I know, Sandy Hook, it was the kid used his mom's gun, right?
Oh, it was
really?
his mom's or his dad's gun?
Or his parents' gun.
Yeah,
so
it was his parents' gun.
And then like the 2 teenagers from Columbine, I was in middle school when that happened. I just aged myself. That's fine. But I think their parents knew
they had access to guns,
but people knew that they had an issue, so they were sort of brooding anyway.
Yeah,
and I don't know.
But like, I think that's also part of like maybe white American culture, where like parents somehow like respect the kids' privacy.
Yeah.
Whereas in our household,
no boundaries.
In my house
locks.
growing up, there was no lock. My mom would she still barges in whenever she feels.
I literally have to teach my mom how. I'm like, you knock first, and then she knocks and immediately opens, and I'm like, no, you got to wait. You knock.
I was putting on pants, and my mom barged in and yelled at me for not having pants on.
My mom will like go through my mail. She'll like just come. She's like, "Oh, you haven't opened these bills yet. Let me." And she's
I
like,
used
"Go
to keep a diary, which is a very white girl thing to do.
I used to keep a diary too.
It's healthy.
Like I used to just write, I really want to have sex. I can't have sex,
And your mom
I really want a
saw
boyfriend. Karen's got a boyfriend. Why can't I have a boyfriend? And my mum read everything.
Oh my God.
My parents read everything.
And you were raised, or you're Pakistani, or of Pakistani descent.
My mum was born in India before partition, and then my dad was born in Pakistan.
Were you raised Muslim?
Yeah.
I was just curious because, like, I talk about this. We've talked about this. Like, it was a very sex negative experience. So we never
There was no sex.
No.
Basically.
So when your mom read that, what was her reaction to that?
Well, obviously she locked me up, and I was in solitary confinement for the rest of my childhood.
But did you have at some point? Did you start?
I was never allowed out after that, and
But so I had the similar thing. My parents are both Pakistani, and so I was raised in Jersey. But like we had strict rules. I had to be home by like 4 or 5 o'clock. Like if I wasn't, and I didn't tell them I was staying after school for whatever, I would they would literally call me at school and embarrass me in front of it was kind of one of those situations. But then I became a very good con artist because I realized the only way out of the house was if I make up all these elaborate lies that I'm like, I'm staying after her school for this club. I've got student council stuff. I've got this, where half the time it would be true, but the other half of the time, like I'd be off at the mall or like meeting up with boys or whatever.
I spent most of my life in the library. I was always in the library.
Okay.
No, I wasn't really, but that's what they thought.
They thought you were a very hard worker
They
and a
thought
good
the
student.
library was open 24 hours a day. I was never in the library. I've never been to the library.
Yeah, man, I felt like I had a double life. I was raised Muslim too. Both parents are Indian.
Oh.
But I mean, I probably have relatives in Pakistan now from before partition. But I felt like I had a double life. Like all my relationships were secret. And it was driving me insane. It was so compartmentalized because you have to remember, like were you able to manage everything?
Yeah, at one point, I would say about like sometime around like 17 or 18, I had to start writing down all the lies that I told so I could keep track.
Oh, you wrote
of the
it down.
lies.
Yeah,
so I could keep track.
Organized.
And then, like, I'm actually writing a book of all the lies I told. Like, it was like my survival guide on how to like survive strict parents.
What were some of the lies?
Oh my God,
complicated.
I can't. Well, my family like listens to this podcast.
From what I've been told.
Yeah.
Oh my God, your parents are so supportive.
No, my parents are not supportive.
She has a million cousins.
My parents don't even know I'm in America. They don't know.
It's better you don't tell them. There are too many guns here.
They don't know I'm here.
Don't scare them. Don't scare
They
them.
think I'm at home in London, and that's it. I just stay in the house and I pray and I cook and I write. They have no idea about my life.
So, but are they supportive?
Seriously.
Are they
They don't know
supportive?
I'm here.
Are they supportive of the comedy business? No.
Don't be
Still?
stupid.
You've been doing this for like 13 years,
I
right?
know, but you know what? They don't talk about it.
Okay.
I'm on TV in England and everybody knows who I am, but it's never mentioned. They don't talk about it. I go home, they'll talk about the Kardashians, they'll talk about Trump, they'll talk about everything, but they will never mention what I do. So we sit around the dinner table and what I do is never, ever mentioned.
Do you think they're proud though? Because you've achieved a lot.
No. I mean, they don't
you're
talk
on
about
TV.
it.
You're like
I mean, if they're
Do you have
talking about the
siblings?
Kardashians, they think.
Because it's like, it's not me. It's not their Kardashians.
It's different
not
when
their
it's
daughter.
not your daughter. Yeah. Do you have other siblings?
Yeah, there's 5 of us.
And what do they all do?
They all do normal things. Very decent, like project manager, like computer.
You indecent woman.
And no, they don't talk about what I do. It's a bit like being gay. I've got some gay friends, and they said that they go home and their parents never mention them being
Yeah,
gay.
just don't acknowledge it.
Yeah,
It's very common.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, so are your siblings okay with what you do? They
Oh yeah,
accept it and
yeah.
they're
Oh
fine?
yeah, because they're my generation. And they've
Yeah.
been to my shows and stuff.
Do you think
That's
your
great.
parents are secretly proud? Because sometimes the expression is difficult for
Have
Have they talked to your siblings about it at all? Do you get any info from them? Or
That's how our parents are, that they just don't mention it. I mean, they could be proud, but in a way, I know they know I do jokes about them.
Yeah.
I sometimes I think they've never seen me perform, and I wouldn't want them there now. It's too late. It's too
weird,
far gone.
right? Yeah,
because
my parents haven't seen me either, and at this point, it's like I don't think I ever want them there because, sorry,
You know, I do jokes about anal sex. I mean, I don't want my 70-year-old dad watching that, listening to that.
That's dangerous.
Like, that would kill him off.
Heart disease.
I have a different experience than these guys because my family is Hindu, but my dad, my brother, and I are all atheists and
She
stuff.
had all the fun.
I mean, we all have our battles. But I post on Twitter and I post that to Facebook. My family's on Facebook, so they see like my masturbation jokes and they see it. And every once in a while, I'll get like a message that they're upset about it or whatever. But they do the thing of they ignore my dad will ignore the posts that he doesn't feel are appropriate, and then like the other ones. And
See,
when
that's supportive. That's
when I was,
nice.
it's still like like it was still like for the first year it was like, and it's supportive because like I've laid the foundation for decades. Like when I was a kid,
you were just a rebel from the beginning.
Yeah.
You never conformed.
I always felt weird. And when I was a kid, what you were saying about telling the lies, like my parents would be like, okay, we're gonna go do this thing, you know, don't let anybody in the house, whatever. And I'd be like, you go do that thing. I'm gonna have sex and do drugs and listen to rock and roll. Like I would say that when I was in middle school, and my parents were like, palu, like or whatever, and then they knew I was messing with them. Then in college, when I was having sex and stuff, I could just say the same thing and be honest, and then they would be like, oh, you're crazy. Like the same reaction from them.
But the thing is like I got arrested and shit in my teens and all this stuff, and my parents think I'm a virgin, and I'm like, I've been alive for decades.
That's crazy.
Do you think they really think you're a virgin?
I think they need to believe that.
They need to believe it. So
I think that's
they're
also
letting
a don't
themselves.
ask, don't tell type of thing.
Yeah.
Do you think
but I think they need to still believe it.
do you
That's what they
think
choose
the
to believe.
parents still value that.
And they've seen my
virginity?
sex jokes. They insisted on coming to my. Do they value the?
Like, do they still, in this day and age, parents, Desi parents, do they still value
Yes.
the virginity? Obviously, our
Absolutely.
generation is totally different. People
Yeah, my
date,
parents,
they have
yes,
boyfriends,
for
they
sure.
have sex before marriage. It's like normal to us.
Yeah.
But do our parents still value that virginity, wanting their daughter to be a
I
virgin?
think
at
so.
the wedding
Absolutely.
night?
Well,
My
that's why they
parents
want me to
wanted
get
me to.
married because
Absolutely.
one time my mom asked me, she's like, "Don't you want to have sex?" And it's like, I can't have this conversation with you because we've never had it before.
I had the conversation when the Me Too thing happened, when like all of that stuff came out. I was like, Mom, Dad, I want to write a post about all the stuff that's happened, but I don't want you to freak out about it. So these are things that happened to me, and some of them involve, you know, like were consensual starting or whatever, you know. And then I had the conversation with them that I had sex, and they were more concerned about my safety, which was like they were like, we can't believe all this stuff happened to you. We thought we kept you safe. We thought you could come to us, and we feel like we failed you in like you not being able to come to us when you weren't safe. And so that was like a real breakthrough for me and my parents.
And you came to them.
I came to them after, like, this is after everything. I told them about stuff that happened, and I think it really did hurt them that. So I think that they want to like protect us, but we're protecting them by like not telling them all the stuff we've done. But it was overall a positive.
Well, my first sexual experience was not consensual, so it was like, how could I have that conversation with my parents? Like that would break their heart.
It was really hard it took several conversations, and it was difficult, but it felt good at the end. And they know that I have sex now. Like,
I mean, I think the big breakthrough, I did Hajj. My parents went and they sort of strong-armed me into going. So I sort of, that's where I came out to them. I'm taking it a step at a time. That's where I came out to them that I don't, adhere to organized religion. That's not my thing. And that was sort of a big shock for them. Mm-hmm. So to tell them that, I've been sitting on dicks, it's like.
I really did start very young.
Getting older.
And it takes a long time.
They're not happy.
I mean, I think now oh my gosh.
You okay?
I kind of like this. Do you guys like the husky voice?
Sure, yeah.
Shazia sure means no, absolutely
No, it's
not.
fine. It's a raspy voice. It's great.
He wasn't happy. He's he thinks he doesn't know that I live with a gay guy. It's just a friend.
Wait, so wasn't he in town?
Yeah.
Didn't he come over? Did you just hide your gay roommate?
He was here for like a day.
Oh,
or something.
okay.
He wasn't staying with us. But yeah, essentially.
Wow.
And it's crazy that I still feel like I have to do that. So it's like cool that I like that my parents see or my mom sees your posts. But my mom, it's like a little easier to deal with that stuff. I can but like
I had a lesbian roommate in college that freaked my parents out a lot, and she would walk around without a bra on and stuff, and my parents were like, what is happening? And then my uncle was like, well, at least she won't get pregnant. So that was, and then now they're like, I went to her wedding. I was in her, like, I was a bridesmaid.
Yeah.
Like my parents, like, I think because our parents are like, they're human. So the concept is scary, but when you put the person in front of them, they're very empathetic. I brought my queer friends home in high school. I was like part of the Gay Straight Alliance. I'd bring my like gay friends home.
Well, my parents like gay people a lot, but my dad doesn't. This is what he said, because I actually had the gay roommate and I wanted to get honest with him. I wanted to get closer. So I phrased it as a question, which I regret now. I don't regret, but like I should have just said it as a statement. I said, would you be okay if I lived with a gay guy? And he freaked out. So I was like, oh, well, I don't want to tell you anything about my life.
Wait, so the fact that you were living with a man at all.
Exactly. It was because I was living with a man. So the concept of being gay wasn't the issue.
You got to get him to believe that gay is
you were
a
living
thing.
with a man.
And that's probably because deep down they don't believe that gays exist.
Yeah.
It's just a man.
Yeah.
It's a man.
But did you ever find yourself censoring yourself with your parents, Shazia, or like changing parts of your life when your parents were around, like as an adult?
Pull the Quran out.
I was never allowed out of the house when I was a kid. Like,
Yeah, but as an adult,
I lived
right?
at home till I was 19.
Okay.
And so I never went anywhere or did anything. And then I went to university.
And then now, like, when do they visit you in your place or
No.
anything? But you go over to see them?
Yeah, I see
And then,
them.
okay. Do you,
It's the perfect arrangement.
They never come to see me.
wow.
See, I wouldn't have to hide people.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like my parents. I could count on one hand how many times they visited me as an adult. Like they've come to my place, which I prefer because I'm still not open and honest. But like, so when they do come, I have to like prepare and like sterilize my place, basically, like hide the wine fridge. Like I have to like go through and just like scrub my apartment of any inkling of like haram behavior or
And what's
haram
our fear,
things.
though? Like, what's our fear? Is it just their
It's
judgment?
It's just easier. It's just easier to keep the peace, and have them believe what they believe than start like World War III.
They take
at
it so
this point.
personally.
Yeah, they do take it. They think of it as a personal failure, and it's like I don't know. They see parents never
little
separate.
egotistical.
They
Yeah.
never separate themselves from like the
narcissistic.
actions of their kids, and it's like we're adults. Like you go live your life, I'll live mine, but they never see it that
They
way.
want to cut the cord.
It's crazy.
Do your parents?
I think there's a big sense of disappointment because you haven't turned out how they wanted you to turn out.
I mean, I think actually my parents have been. They were scared initially, but like the last couple years, they've become more supportive, and they've wanted to come to shows. That's why I said your arrangement was actually good, because they'll come to shows, but then they'll hear things. You have to be authentic on stage, otherwise it's not funny, right? So they heard stuff, and I think they block it out. They choose not to believe it. They think, oh, this Fizz is saying some crazy shit, and it's just a joke. But like, how can I do a joke about like anal, as we were talking about earlier, and they think like I've never had an experience with it?
Yeah. I think we all have our own Santa Clauses to believe in that we cling to.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Do you have something that you believe in that you feel like might not be real, but it's something that gives you comfort?
I really like that, like Incredible Hulk, Wonder Woman,
I love all that shit too.
Cagney and Lacey, all those kind of shows.
Yeah.
Dukes of Hazzard.
That's fun.
And they're not real, are they? None of them.
Yeah.
The Incredible Hulk is not real, is it?
That's like every man we've ever dated. No, I'm kidding. He gets mad.
The Incredible Hulk.
They seem so human.
He's not real though, is he?
No.
I mean, yeah, no, I think everything's real on some level.
Yeah.
Well, like that's another conversation. Let's not derail this.
So
This train.
you mentioned this is kind of off family again, but you mentioned like your influences being like Richard Pryor and all of those folks. Do you see that in your comedy a lot? Does it like do those voices come out?
No. Because you have to be yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have people that you like. I mean, I like a lot of comedians.
Yeah.
But you have to be yourself.
Yeah.
They were themselves. They were unique.
But you could see other people's influences.
Right.
Like you could kind of tell like who influenced who. Maybe if they were around the same circles, or they actually idolized.
What
I wouldn't want I wouldn't want the audience or anyone to see who I was influenced by.
But I don't think it's an audience thing. I think it's like other comics can see. Like,
I wouldn't want them to see.
because I was expecting you to say Joan Rivers. Because like Joan Rivers is someone that I really looked up to as well. Because it was like my mom's favorite comic and stuff. So when I see, I guess I kind of look for that in other female comics. Because that's not always the case.
I think well, a lot of my influences were male because that's mostly what there
What was out there.
So, or what I had, what was available. Yeah. So you mentioned Robin Williams, and I saw a set of his like randomly when I was really young. And what struck me, and I don't know that his voice comes out in me, but what struck me was his freedom on stage, just how free he was. And I mean, that's why it seemed like he didn't have a set. So that stuck out to me. So like, was there were there qualities in some of these people that you admired that stuck out to you?
Well, just that, they were honest.
Yeah.
They were honest and they had unique voices. And there's a lot of comics now, and it's not that. I hear the same voice.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're the most honest you can be now that you've been in it for 13 years, or do you think there's more to go?
I could be more honest.
Yeah.
But I do my best to be at this time.
We're all trying.
We're all coping with something. Has there ever been any material or comedy that you've done or a performance where you got in trouble for it or you got some heat for it?
Maybe. Oh yeah. Every comic gets.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of that right now. Like in the culture right now, there's a lot of people. Like, Kevin Hart got offered the Oscars and they took it away because of a tweet he did like 10 years ago.
I think it was like 6 or 7 years ago.
6 or 7 years ago. 6 or 7 years ago.
It was like he was talking about how he would be upset with his son for being gay. And then, like, I think the issue was his reaction. Like, people didn't like how he reacted to it because apparently he said he'd apologized before.
And who took his place?
Nobody. The Oscars weren't hosted by anybody. They just had different presenters, and it went really smoothly.
Yeah. Yeah. So. But it was also like not as much fun to watch this year. But I think it's a lot of people are not really willing to sacrifice like having all their past jokes looked into and put under a microscope with today's societal norms and pressure of something that, like comedy is an evolution, right? So something that was funny maybe 10 years ago or even 5 years ago is not going to be as funny today because of like the political, because of like the political times or whatever.
Do you experience this in the UK? Well, is it the UK anymore?
It is.
Yeah, it's the UK.
I don't know what's going on.
Experience what this.
Is there like a lot of backlash against comedians right now? Because like I know on like like we were saying on Twitter and stuff, there's a lot of backlash for people's past statements. Like it gets dragged up and then they get canceled.
Is there is there a concern?
No, we haven't had that.
You guys, do you feel like you've had more freedom than American comics?
I mean, it's the same kind of thing though all over the world about political correctness.
Yeah.
And people being offended and people having to apologize and you have to explain why you said something and be sensitive to certain groups. That's a whole worldwide thing.
I had to do that last night at the show. There was an older South Asian woman in the audience, and I referred to her as Auntie, which we've done plenty of times.
I don't think she was that old though.
I'm not going to say what her age is, but she's like old enough to be an auntie.
Okay.
And
I mean, technically, we're all.
Is she old enough to be your auntie?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
that's the question.
And so and I just referred to her as Auntie, and then she messaged me, and she was upset about it, and she was like, "Don't refer to an older woman as Auntie. Like in 20 years or whatever, you'll know what it feels like." And then she also said, "And also don't assume I have kids," because I asked her if she had kids, and then it looked like she nodded or whatever. But then we had like a really good conversation after that. I was like, "Well, I don't want to censor myself. Here's like my opinion on things." And then she like told me her backstory, and now she's going to come to our next show. And I was like, "Oh, this was like a really positive interaction with someone." Like it usually doesn't end that way. Usually people are just like mad at each other.
Well, I'm glad she reached out.
I kept telling her like, "Thank you for telling me." Yeah, it was nice. But
I mean,
yeah,
it's valid.
But also, I mean, like that was a trigger for her. But like, I'm an auntie. Like my friends are having kids. Like I'm Auntie Zara. So like,
But like in the audience,
you know, like
they probably wouldn't call you. Like if you were an audience member, she probably wouldn't call you auntie because you don't look like. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, like I just don't feel like people get offended by everything. You know, so like I don't. I mean,
She also said it was like
I hope you didn't apologize.
and circling.
I didn't say like sorry. I didn't say sorry for calling you auntie. I said we've done that before. I've had positive experiences. I'm going to keep doing it. For me, it's a term of endearment. For me, the fact that I can stand on that stage and call someone auntie, that means that there's a South Asian woman that's appreciating my humor, and that feels great.
Yeah,
like
so your intention wasn't that.
Yeah, and so I explained. I was like, I'm going to keep doing it because that wasn't, you know. So I didn't like. I'm not like sorry I called you auntie. Like it was a whole thing. But I think because of that honesty, like we were able to connect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Have you had that? Have you had people reaching out to you via social media and other platforms, just audience members being offended?
Well, they reach out to us because they
that's
love
good.
her.
No.
She's like, no.
You only get the love.
I just have people that love me.
That's amazing. That's great.
Everybody loves me, and women love me, and men want to fuck me. So I'm a winner all round.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
That's how you
Living
should
the life.
intro your comedy to your parents. Just tell them.
How did you achieve that? Women loving you? Because I feel like I have a hard time with that. Like I do get.
Maybe you're a horrible person.
You know, I don't think I am, you know, but like when women approach me after shows, it's amazing because that's a validation. And that happens. But then there's also women who do like what Pallavi said, that they'll just be offended or triggered or whatever. And
But you have a lot of women friends.
I do have a lot of women friends, but I don't know. Maybe it's just like where I am in the comedy journey or something. Like I just don't feel like it's easy for women to like me. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like women go out of their way to not like you. Or me specifically. That's what I'm experiencing.
What happened?
I don't know.
Like recently did something?
I just get a lot of like backhanded compliments, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like
you
a lot
already
of just
mentioned that.
like, you know, it's just because you're pretty. Like that kind of stuff. Like,
Well, that's probably jealousy.
well, I
When people
it's just,
wanna take
it's
you
just
down a peg.
weird. It's just, I don't know.
Because what are they trying to do? Undermine your talent?
They're just trying to like bring me down a peg maybe because
So that's their
I don't know.
problem.
But like, I don't know. But that's because they don't like me. Whatever it is about me, they don't like, you know. But I'm envious because I do want women to like me. So I don't know. I just want to be Shazia when I grow up.
Do women really like you?
I get a lot of women email me, yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Are you very connected with? You said that now there are 5 brown female comics in the UK or in London. Do you guys like connect? Like we sometimes have like Desi South Asian like brunches and stuff.
Oh yeah,
Is
yeah,
there a
we
lot
do.
of-
Yeah, we have a WhatsApp group
Hey,
called Brown Girls.
very
Oh, that's
Indian,
nice.
very
There's
Desi.
3 of us on that, and I have another group which is like guys and girls. Yeah,
That's great that there's like
yeah.
that.
We do. The comedy circuit's very small in England because it's a small country, so everybody knows each other.
And it's pretty supportive,
Yeah.
and that's awesome.
And do you all do like similar shows to what we're doing here, where it's like a showcase of all the brown comics?
No, we
Never.
don't. We do sometimes, but we do mainstream mixed bills mainly.
Because it's so small that
Yeah.
you probably take up.
Yeah, and this is a niche thing.
Have you considered touring together?
I tour by myself.
Ah, gotcha.
But,
This bitch doesn't need nobody to tour.
Yeah.
I've
She's
done shows
famous.
with them.
She's famous. She
I've
doesn't
done
need
shows with
anybody.
them.
Well, sometimes you go with people,
Yeah.
even if you are like, Kings of Comedy style.
Yeah.
What's the best place you've been to? What's your favorite touring story?
Well, I've been all over the world. I just was in the Far East last month. So I did Kuala Lumpur, Jakarta, Shanghai, Singapore, and Malaysia. And it was great. Shanghai was amazing, doing comedy in China. It was incredible.
What was great about it?
Well, because the audiences were so big, a lot of them have not seen live stand-up before, but they watch Netflix and stuff.
Oh, cool.
And they were loving it, and it was all new to them, and it was a totally different culture to anything. Nothing's in English. They don't have Google, Facebook, Twitter. All of that is banned.
Yeah.
So everything is Chinese. It's like being a total.
So was there a
foreigner.
translator? Was there a translator, or did they follow along with your English? Was there
I had to speak slower.
Okay.
But they watch Netflix and stuff, so they understand American English kind of thing. So they understood it. They were educated people that came, so they understood.
That's very cool.
I think we're pretty lucky that we.
But it was such a great different culture to perform to a different culture is really great.
And did a lot of your material resonate with them?
Yeah.
Like there wasn't like a cultural barrier or anything. They got everything.
Because the Chinese, they have their own. There's a similar culture.
Yeah.
Any ethnic culture has similarities.
Yeah, you do talk about that in your act a lot. I found your material very educational last night because I had no idea about the Princess Diana conspiracy theory that like the royal family did it. So I mean, that's knowledge to me. I didn't know
I knew about that. Yeah.
I mean, I assumed allegedly, but I didn't know this was like a common theory that was accepted by all, pretty much.
Is it?
Well, it's not accepted,
Spoken about.
obviously. Otherwise, it would be in prison.
Yeah. Would they?
Huh?
I mean, there are a lot of powerful people not in prison.
I mean, it is the time for white people to go to jail.
yeah, and they're all very white.
The Queen just made her first Instagram post.
Did she?
Yeah, she apparently posted her first Instagram thing.
Did she?
What's her username?
Is it her dog?
I think it was to the royal family's like thing or something, but she like posted it.
Has Meghan had a baby yet?
I have no, I don't know. I think we would know. I feel like that would be a whole thing, right? They make a big deal out of.
Do you think Meghan
I
is
feel
more?
like she's been pregnant for ages.
Probably.
So since you're a Brit, I'm going to ask you this: do you think Meghan is more favored than Kate, or is it just because she's
Favorite.
new?
Did you say favorite?
Yeah, like she's more of a favorite than Kate is.
I don't know. She's had a hard time, Meghan, on the press.
From the British press?
Yeah. What's it like here?
I think we all are excited that there's like an American black,
she's very
black
popular in the
princess.
States.
Like,
Yeah, we all want to be her when we grow up. We
Like,
all want to
we're like-
marry.
We're like, this bitch did it. She achieved
Yeah.
that Cinderella dream that all those movies are about.
So this is crazy. They drag her in the UK. Like they don't.
What?
She's not popular at all.
Do you think that
the
that's
British press give her a hard time.
Why?
Do you think that's partially racially motivated?
Yes.
Or yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it seems like it. I think that's part of the reason why we like celebrate her too. Is we're like, this is amazing. There's a black princess in the royal family.
So what are they saying about her? Why are they like dragging her?
Well,
in
it's
the
the
mud?
British press. That's how
There
they
was
are.
like a controversy where she like opened the door for herself, or like there was some like thing that she wasn't supposed to do that she did, like that etiquette thing or whatever. And so I heard that they dragged her for that.
Oh, right.
But yeah, I think
But they
it's
love her here.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, she's
I mean,
one of us.
she wasn't
Canadian.
as famous as she is now that
She was
she's
an actor,
married.
I think.
Yeah.
She was on
Yeah.
Suits. Yeah,
Yeah, I
She's
mean,
been cancelled now.
yeah.
thanks
She
to
doesn't need
Megan.
the job.
Good job. But we all still love her. We all want to be her.
But she's Canadian.
Is she? I
She's
thought her
like
mom's
half
American.
Canadian.
It's still
She was like
American.
half Canadian.
North American.
I thought her mom is from the U.S.
But they,
She's very popular here.
you celebrate her here.
It's like a princess thing, like a dream come true type of situation.
Yeah,
But
she
And
did
you
what everybody
celebrate
wants to
Kate
do.
as well.
I don't think that we connect with her as much. She's British, right? Like she's a white British lady, so it's not as like crazy that would happen to her, you know.
Yeah.
But I think that I don't think there's negative press about her.
So is Kate the media darling then, or do they drag her
Pippa.
under the mud too?
Oh yeah.
Pippa got like a lot of positive reviews here because her butt looked good at their wedding or whatever. She like wore this dress and everybody was like Pippa's butt. So
America-
it was like Kate's sister.
America is obsessed with butts.
We're trying to make Kardashians
Yeah.
out of the royal family is what's
Yeah.
happened.
We're celebrating their
Basically,
butts
if you have a
together.
great ass,
Is
it's
Kim's
fine.
ass real?
No, it's not.
She took an X-ray on the thing.
It's not real.
It's not real.
It's not real.
But
It's kind of known in Hollywood that it's not real.
It's enhanced.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Enhance.
mean, I
Enhance.
don't
It's
know
like
the
hacking
procedure.
into a system. Enhance the ass.
I don't understand it.
I mean, I don't know what the procedure is, but
I just don't understand this butt business because it's behind you. You can't see it.
well, because men.
Yeah, men look at the
You
ass.
are never going to see it. It's behind you.
I mean,
But men will see it, and they will make you more attractive to men.
I hear you. I hear what you're
men
saying.
like big butts.
Yes, in this country they do. Do they not like big butts in England?
It's becoming more popular.
Interesting.
More recently, I think curves are coming back.
My last experience with a British man, I think they like big butts.
Do they?
I don't know. He was also like, he was a like black British dude.
She's just
so.
low key
listen,
saying she
black
got a big
guys are
booty.
different.
She just low key
Black guys
No,
are
I
different.
don't got a big booty.
They're
Black guys
different in
do.
England too.
I got a okay
Listen,
booty.
black guys have different desires, shall we say, to white men.
I think now it's like the appropriation thing, right? Like the Kardashians were part of the reason that like big butts became popular here. Like there was like
let's be
J-Lo.
real. J-Lo started it.
There was Beyonce and J-Lo, but
Yeah.
like I think it was
The
like
Kardashians brought it to the white people.
to the
By
white
the
people,
way,
yeah.
shout out to J-Lo and A-Rod on your engagement.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a really
Mazel.
beautiful ring. The rock is like as big as my face. Like it's huge.
She has to wear
It's
that?
huge. I just want to live like 1/10 of her life. Can I do that? I will live like 100th of her life. Like for as many times as she's been engaged, like I just want one engaged. Like I will just one is
You're
fine.
so close. You're so close.
I don't think people are excited to get engaged like 6 times. I think they also want to get engaged.
No, I'm
once.
pretty sure J-Lo was excited each time she gets engaged. Like,
Yeah, but then the end part where it doesn't work out, I think they're not as excited
man,
about
I
that.
think maybe everybody's like started a pool by now. Like, all right, how long is this one going to last? But whatever. Congratulations to you guys. It's beautiful.
Look, you made it past the 2-month mark, so you're doing okay.
2 months.
It's all relative, right?
Maybe.
Oh.
Sure.
How are you? So you're single, or are you?
No comment.
Okay,
Oh.
but you're not married.
We're sending this to your
No
parents.
comment.
Okay, gotcha.
Are you very private? Like, do you not like to?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
You don't
got
discuss personal life?
In the public, I am, yeah.
Is it? Have you had a negative experience with the public before that's caused you to be private, or have you
No,
always been
like
this way?
press and stuff. Like I don't,
Right.
Because everything ends up on the internet,
Yeah.
and I don't want to like things to be on the internet about me that I haven't said in my act.
Was there an incident before where that happened, or have you always just been like very careful?
No, I'm always about the work.
Okay.
I don't want my private life to overpower my work.
I feel like for me, it feels like so closely associated because like it, if my private life fuels my work. So I just like put everything out there because it's like in joke form, but it's there's like decoys or whatever because not every joke is like real or, but there's still like a lot of truth in it. So you were saying like being honest in your set, like you don't feel like you give away too much or.
No, I mean like if something's in the paper or online,
Yeah.
like these women that all their life is online is about their butt or about the size of their breasts or I lost three kilos this week or I lost 300 pounds this week, and that is their life, is that is all there is about them online all the time. And people don't, and they may have a job or a career or something, but people don't know about that or they're not interested in it because all that side of their life has been overpowered. And I just want to be about the work.
I can respect that. And I think that might be a little bit of a generational thing too. Because I'm just noticing this in LA. Like I was raised to be very, very private. So I don't like share too much in my act about like very personal things or even like in storytelling or whatever. But I've noticed with like younger millennials, they tend to like overshare. But for them, it's like very normal. And I mean, you could find funny out of everything. But I really think it's a generational thing.
Oh, they're content hungry, so it's just share. It makes
I mean,
sense.
I feel like that's how I am, but I also feel like I'm very like it feels very empowering, and I get a lot of positive feedback from people that I generally think.
Yeah, it's not a negative thing. It's just it's just different.
It's just like a different
the reason
generation.
that
it's been an adjustment for me as someone who's also raised privately to be private. To share.
I'm just saying
I just lost my train of thought.
Sorry. I was just saying that it fuel like part of the fuel is that people like reach out to you after you post things and they like connect with you more. And so that then encourages me to like share more.
Yeah, I don't need new friends.
Well, the thing is, what I was going to say
it's
is
old friends too. It's like people who like feel comfort from the fact that you're willing to like stand up for yourself or like have less shame about things.
What did you think of Hannah Gadsby's stand-up?
I actually enjoyed it, and a lot of people said, "Oh, it didn't have jokes," but I thought there were a lot of things that were very funny subtly. It was understated. It was just, and I thought it was powerful. I connected to it emotionally.
Because I mean, she shared stuff about her life.
Yeah, I liked it as a piece of art. Like it's not like for me, it's I wouldn't look at it as like a full comedy special. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we felt like some of us felt like it was marketed like differently than I expected, you know, or like than I would have expected it given the content.
It wasn't a comedy special.
So I like.
It wasn't.
No, it was not.
What was it?
I think it was just storytelling.
It honestly, which she like addressed in it too. It was definitely, but
it was her one woman show.
But a lot of stand up specials are becoming that. You know, like I feel like they're incorporating different
it's a special,
things.
so maybe it is just a label thing where it's like, okay, it wasn't purely stand up, it was stand up. There were jokes in it, there was storytelling, there
serious
was
parts.
Yeah.
But I connected with a lot of it. I connected with a lot of the frustration in her voice.
But that was
what did you think?
That was very controversial here. A lot of people, a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, coming out of Hollywood,
it's not a.
If you're asking like comedians in Hollywood and LA or whatever, like what this special was, it wasn't like I don't call that comedy, you know. So, and I don't know. I'm from like a school of thought where like if I turn on a comedy special, I'm expecting like punchlines and laughs per minute and stuff like that. But like,
you irritated by the marketing then? Because,
I am because I wouldn't have like. Sure,
push views and stuff.
Sure, but it's also like disappointing because I'm looking to laugh and I'm hearing about all your personal stuff and it might be triggering stuff in me. And I'm like, I wasn't trying to get emotional right now. I wanted to spend the 1 hour of free time I had tonight.
So it's like a marketing
getting
issue.
laughs.
Well,
you know?
Hassan Minaj's special was triggering for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was super triggering.
Yeah, but I mean that was funny because it had laughs. There was laughs. Like he had jokes in there. Like that was all part of it. So I enjoyed it overall.
What did you think about it?
I watched it live.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, when it was in Edinburgh.
What did the
Edinburgh
room
Festival.
feel like? Oh.
And this was before it was ever on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
And it was in Edinburgh at the Edinburgh Festival. And it was great.
Yeah, you liked it?
It was in a very small room. There was 50.
She said it was
people.
great. Sorry.
It was only 50 people?
60 people.
Okay.
Maybe, in a small room.
Did you go as a friend or a colleague of hers?
No,
or
you just bought a ticket and went. And, you know, it was like everybody was raving about it. It was a hit of the festival.
I mean, I think it was amazing. Like, as a piece of art, I think it was amazing. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I think maybe you didn't enjoy it because you had different expectations.
I had different expectations. Yeah. I think if I watched it like on any other night where I wasn't expecting comedy, if I watched it with like the preface that like this is a one woman show or it's not comedy, she gets into like personal topics.
But I think
like, all right,
that's kind of how I view
it's
like
not comedy though might be a strong statement because there are comedic elements. So maybe it's not just comedy, but it's comedy and this and this and this. But
I kind of view all specials like I don't know what to expect now. Because like some comedy specials are going to be just not funny.
Because Netflix has done that, you know? Like now you can't trust Netflix when they're saying this is a comedy special. It's just like, all right, well, don't have expectations that it's a comedy special and then maybe you'll laugh or maybe you won't. Maybe you'll cry. Maybe you'll feel an emotion that you didn't want to feel or maybe you'll unsurface a memory that you had like hidden away, you know?
I watched Ricky Gervais's...
So it's dangerous.
I watched Afterlife.
Yeah.
Ricky Gervais's new comedy. It's a comedy. It's a comedy drama, and it's absolutely amazing.
I've heard amazing things about it. I'm actually excited to watch it.
Incredible! It's the best thing on Netflix at the moment.
Really?
I went to watch one episode. I watched all 6 in one go.
Wow.
That's the other thing about Netflix. Like you could go in with the intent to watch, you know, one episode and then it's like crack and you're, you know, like you've wasted 9 hours of your day.
Do you know what I've been watching that's not comedy, but I've felt that addiction and I stayed up way too late last night watching it was Jada Pinkett Smith's Red Table Talk.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't know if you guys have seen it. But
I saw the Will Smith episode.
I saw that too. That's what I started with last night. But they just get into like different topics, but it's such a like positive energy that they can like, they always bring it back to like positive things. And it's her and her mom and her daughter, Willow. And they just talk about they bring guests on and stuff.
And they are notorious for making every guest cry.
Yeah.
Well, we're not making
that's like
but
the thing.
Evoking tears.
It's very like emotional.
Inspiring tears.
But it's
positive, but people cry.
Well, it's purging, it's healing. You know?
Like they talked to a recent domestic abuse victim about what happened to her, and like they talked to the daughter of the victim, and they're like they get very real, but they try to make sure like the person feels heard and everything. It's taught me like a little bit about communication, I would say. But I got addicted to it.
Do you have to have a subscription?
No, it's on Facebook Watch.
Oh,
Yeah, you can just watch it on Facebook,
tight.
which I don't know how to monetize.
What can
that.
you recommend me to watch on Netflix?
Russian Doll. I really enjoyed that.
What is it? Drama, comedy?
It's like a dramedy. There are comedic elements to it, but it's mostly like
It's a series.
It's a series.
Okay.
It's kind of like Groundhog's Day. I'm not going to give too much of it away, but
It's different.
there's a very
else?
strong female lead.
Sex Education.
Oh, I saw that.
I loved it.
Is it good?
I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard some good things.
There's like a lot of really good shows about like coming of age stuff that's like in comedy right now. Like Pen 15 on Hulu is really good. And have you heard of that?
I've got Hulu, but I'll watch that.
It's Pen 15 is like these two women who are in their 30s who are they're the creators of the show. They act as middle schoolers, so it's them pretending to be middle schoolers surrounded by actual children in the cast. So at first, like I didn't realize that in the first episode, and I was like, "What's wrong with their faces? Like, why do they look? Why are they so good at acting and so emotional? And also, why do they look? But they're such good actors that they like really like get into the character of like a child, and they're just surrounded by children. But it was really good, very like, and I've identified with a lot of the American experience in that. So hopefully it translates.
Can we see any of your projects on like Hulu or Netflix? Like, where can we see some of your stuff? Because there's one that the Kardashians made me do it.
That was a live show, and
Okay.
I finished touring that now.
What was that about?
But that was about ISIS, about young girls going to join ISIS. That was a big hit.
Because of the Kardashians?
Yeah, the father had said after they'd left, this was about 3 girls who'd left to join ISIS in Britain. It was all true. It was satire.
Oh, wow.
And after they'd left, their parents were called into the government, and the government asked the parents, "Why have your daughters gone to join ISIS?" And the father said, "I can't understand why she's gone. She used to watch the Kardashians." And that's what they
so
told the
funny.
government, is that they were just normal girls who loved the Kardashians. So it was a satire, and it was a big hit. I toured it for about 1.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it was sold out everywhere, so it kept going.
One woman show or?
It was stand-up.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But so you had no desire to like put it on film and like sell it?
Well, at
Because
the
it was
time-
successful.
Well,
right?
at the time, I was touring it for so long, and a lot of people saw it. And it's not that show I wouldn't put on Netflix. I'd want to do something like, what's her name? I think she's so fun.
Describe her.
She's filthy. Ali Wong.
Ali
Ali
Wong.
Wong.
Yeah.
If I was going to do like an hour, I'd want to do something like hardcore stand-up, but it's got a narrative and it's personal and it's about her. But I'd want it to be like that.
So this wouldn't be the first thing you'd want out. The defining piece.
No, yeah. So I'm working on other stuff.
Yeah.
That will be out soon.
Very cool. So you're a fan of Ali Wong.
Yeah, I used to gig with her in San Francisco,
That's dope.
and I also So I've known her since then. A lot of the San Francisco comics are really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is a great scene.
It's an amazing scene.
Yeah, we've brought the show up there a couple times, and
It's
we've
been
worked
very
with
good. The
several of
comics
the.
there.
I go there all the time. I love it. They're like, it's like a second home for me at this point.
Yeah, I'm trying to go now at least like once a month or every 6 weeks because it is the people there are like there to laugh, and it's very hard to get those reactions here in LA where it seems like there's I've almost like driven. Like I've made turns during like traffic in like LA off Melrose where I've almost hit like an open micer. Like there's just like comedians like in every crevice of the city. So sometimes I just enjoy leaving the city to do some comedy.
She likes
Away from all
ticklish
the comedians.
audiences.
Yes.
Audiences that are there to laugh.
Yeah.
That's why I love New York so much, is
Yeah.
that the audiences there are just ready. They're primed for comedy. They want it. They want it. Here, it's just like almost sometimes people are an unwilling audience. They don't even know there's going to be a comedy show, and suddenly there's a comedy show
Yeah.
at like a restaurant or something.
Did that happen when you were coming up in London? Did you ever have to do comedy to people who were not expecting a comedy show?
No, I never did any surprise comedy shows.
What?
That's 50%
They
of
were-
comedy shows here.
They were
Yeah.
all planned.
All planned.
I mean, they're planned for by the producers, but the audience are sometimes
It'll be like in a cafe or like at a brewery, and the audience doesn't realize that there's comedy going on.
Oh no, they always knew.
Although now more often there's like showrooms here in LA where shows will take place behind the restaurant, and those are more, I think, planned. People will come to attend those, but a lot of them are just
Yeah, you're just kind of holding people hostage.
Yeah. It's not kind.
Yeah. Speaking of, I feel like we have to wrap up soon.
Oh man.
Are you ready? Do you feel ready to wrap up?
That man was sitting there with a sign saying 50 minutes.
Yeah.
I think that's
Paul.
a sign.
There's more information, but
I don't mind.
I think we can.
I don't mind wrapping up.
So where can we find you? Or actually, let's ask. Should we do the questions?
Sure.
To break the stereotype.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So we usually ask our brown guests how they broke the stereotype and built the stereotype. So in terms of like what did you do that was expected as a brown woman, and what did you do that was unexpected?
Oh, I did everything that was expected of me. Yeah. I wore the right clothes. I said the right words. I met the right men. I ate the right food. I went to bed at the right time. I did all my homework. I was really good.
Until you were 19 and you left the house.
I know I did it for a long time until I became a comedian.
And then you broke it. You broke that stereotype.
Yeah.
Broke it all the way down.
Being a comedian was not...
Yeah.
was not
of course. So in addition to, that's a given because we're all comedians. How else are you breaking the stereotype?
Well, I don't always do brown material on stage and talk about brown issues and brown things because beyond the brown, we are people. Yeah. And we're just like every other white man.
We're just trying to gain that power. Just trying to get it.
Well, except we don't have the money. We don't have the power. We don't have the sex.
We have the ambition.
Do we?
We have more ambition than white men. I know that for sure.
Oh, yeah. White men, they don't have to be that ambitious.
Yeah, that's true.
They just get stuff anyway.
Yeah.
We have to work for everything that we get.
Yeah. Cool. Do you have a favorite?
But I do like white men.
Ooh.
Okay.
Especially very old ones.
Old white men. Okay.
Oh, ones that are about to kick the bucket?
That's right.
Yes, girl.
Like Padma Lakshmi. Padma Lakshmi's a very good one at getting like old, nearly dead
Is
white
she
men.
still with Salman?
No.
Was that like over a long time ago? Okay.
She's had like 2 white billionaires since then.
You got to get them teetering
So
on the edge.
are you looking for are you looking for a senior citizen billionaire?
Senior citizen?
Yeah, what we call like above 65, like an older.
Listen, I like a man on a life support machine.
A billionaire on
she
a life
wants to
support
see the
machine.
light at the end of the tunnel.
You know he's not going to hurt you.
She wants to see the light that he sees when he dies.
Yes.
Yeah. That's great. Well, I think we figured out who your favorite South Asian is. That was our other question, and Padma Lakshmi is your is one of your
seems like
role models, I guess.
She feels she's what?
Goals.
She's your goal. Is that
no?
Okay. Who's one of your South Asian celebrity that you look up to?
Oprah Winfrey. I think she's
Oprah Winfrey.
she's a global citizen.
Amen.
She is every color.
Yeah. All right.
Did you watch that documentary? You did.
I watched and I watched the interview afterwards with Oprah.
How did you think she handled it? Did you guys watch it?
I haven't. I feel like I'm not going to want to listen to the songs anymore.
I'm done with
the songs. Were great though.
I know.
They were incredible, but like when I heard the details of the abuse, I was like, I don't need to listen to this anymore.
I don't know. We started watching it.
It was intentional.
Is it on Netflix? Isn't it?
It's on
HBO. So did you watch the interview with Oprah?
I watched the documentary first of all.
Yeah,
Michael Jackson. The 2 parts, and I watched the first part. And obviously, it's very black and white. No pun intended. It's very black and white what he did.
That's
It's like there's no. Did he do it? Didn't? No. It's very clear.
I wanted to, as a fan, as a super fan, I wanted to like see the humanity and understand and think there was a gray area, but it was very black and white. It was very black and white.
But you can't see the gray area because like they did not interview his family or anyone on his side, and he's not here to defend himself.
Yeah, but his family is not going to know if he raped those kids. Like it's going to be the kids in the room and him. And he's dead, and those kids were there.
And the documentary is more about their stories, sharing their experiences,
and also the parents as well. The parents had their say. as well.
That's got to be tough to witness, to know that under your care this happened to your child. That's
Admitted
gotta
it
be
though.
tough.
They admitted that they were blinded by fame and celebrity, and that at that time fame was real fame. It was crazy, mental, people
Manic,
outside his
crying.
hotel room, people obsessed.
Yeah.
It's not that like that
There
now
weren't as
because-
many celebrities
because
now,
everybody's
was there?
famous now.
But
Everybody's on TV. That
Yeah.
fame does not exist anymore.
I mean, he was the first one to have fame in our lifetimes like that.
Madonna, that
Yeah.
kind of fame
Yeah.
was, it's crazy.
Probably like the close. I was thinking actually like Will Smith is global like that. Like I think people like lose their minds when they see him, and especially now
But
too.
I think also
But
music reaches more people. So
music
musicians
does.
will always have a wider reach.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
I just going back to the Oprah thing though, and I know we should wrap up, but I was just curious, how do you think she handled it? Because I'm a big Oprah fan too, but I think, I don't know, she had to keep the conversation moving, but I don't know. I just felt like there could have maybe been more sensitivity.
I don't know. Was she friends with Michael?
She was.
No, not to
It
Michael.
seems like she was.
The sensitivity
At a point.
Victims.
to the victims, yeah.
But was she friends?
survivors.
She was friends with Michael. Michael definitely helped her career by coming on the Oprah show
Yeah.
numerous times.
Well, something
So you cannot argue that Oprah is not like Oprah is friends with anyone anyone with a high profile. Oprah has some sort of relationship with, right?
I thought something that was
Was that part clear? I didn't see the Oprah interview. Was that part kind of like questionable? Was she kind of siding with Michael, or was she?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
You're just saying she could have been more sensitive in addressing or in questioning.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm so used to her 21-day meditations, group meditations, so I'm used to her.
Super Soul Sundays.
So when I think it seemed, and this is not to criticize her, but in my opinion, I would have felt like she was coming at me a little abrasively if I were. They were very vulnerable. They were in a
She
very
wasn't
vulnerable
sensitive to the. She wasn't as sensitive to the victims as she could have been.
Yeah,
is what you're saying.
but I don't think it was intentional. I think she was doing the best she could, and I think I pulled Oprah to this godlike standard. It's just like,
yeah, she's the one that
human.
gives everybody
She's human.
cars, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like it's hard to. It's probably hard to see her in this light where she's dealing with.
It's worth watching the interview though, because I mean, she is a great interviewer, and she does like hit a lot of the points that.
So is that a goal? Is that a goal in your life? Do you want to be Oprah?
I'd like to be on Oprah. Not on top of
Be
her.
interviewed by her.
Not on top of her, obviously. I'd like to be on her show. I'd like her to interview me. Yeah, that would be great. I would love to be on her show.
All right, everybody, tag Oprah and tag Shazia.
Shazia
I'd
Mirza.
like to go on there when I've done some great work, and I'd want her to interview me about the great work, or a book, or
Memoir.
or something that I've done. I don't just want her to interview me. It has to be about my
reach
work.
a milestone that's achievable to get on. Yeah. Go ahead.
But you've had an illustrious career. I feel like you could get on Oprah now.
No,
Well,
I
she
don't
doesn't have a
think so.
talk show anymore. You'd have to,
It could be an interview.
yeah.
I do think we have to wrap up.
Yeah, where can we
Thank
find
you for having me. My website, www.shazia-mirza.com.
Okay, and we'll have that on the internet spelled out.
Okay, great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
You can find us at facialrecognitioncomedy.com, Facial Recognition Comedy on Instagram and Facebook, and Facial Rec Comedy on Twitter. I'm Pallavi Gunalan. That's PALLAVIGUNALAN. Everywhere.
I'm Fizza Dasani. I've spelt it so many times. You can just, even if you spell it wrong, it should.
You know they're just fast forwarding through this. So
Yeah, I
they've
know.
already stopped listening. And I'm Zara Ali. You can find me on all socials at Really Zara. Zara is spelled ZAHRA. Bye.
I forgot I had a lollipop.